guys and gals, welcome to the shop. Got something a little different today. Talking about electrical tape, rubber versus vinyl electrical tape. I've been using rubber electrical tape now for years. I find it to be a lot better than the vinyl in many ways. First of all, it doesn't have glue. So if anyone, I know a bunch of you people out there have used the vinyl and you've had to take it off or whatever, or after so many years it kind of like starts to unravel, and then the wires that it's on, it's just covered in that gooey, sticky glue that's left behind. Rubber doesn't have any glue. It's self-bonding. It bonds to itself, which I like a lot. It can be a little bit difficult to put on sometimes depending on the situation, but I think it's worth it, especially for what I do and what probably most of you guys and gals are messing around with as well. It is, however, more expensive. Say some vinyl's about $1, $2, and this is about $2.50 to $3. So it is a little bit more expensive. Rubber is a lot more insulative, just by its nature of that is rubber. In fact, it's insulates up to 750 volts per mil thickness. I'm not sure exactly the insulation values on the vinyl. I did look it up and I couldn't find it. I'm sure it's I just overlooked it, but this is considerably better. Typically vinyl's for low voltage, like say 120, 240 or under, where this one actually even says 600 volt max. I think the Scotch right here goes a little higher. The only area where the rubber's really not that great is, since it is rubber, and it is cold welding, that if debris can get on it and stick to it and get embedded in it. In that case, you might want to cover it with vinyl or some other kind of coating. But just about everything else, I don't see a big difference. It's, like temperature ranges, depending on, like the Scotch 130C or the 23, the temp goes all the way up to 266 degrees Fahrenheit or 130 degrees Celsius. The 3M tape, this one right here, the upper limit is 221 Fahrenheit, 105 centigrade. The vinyl is rated to 220 degrees Fahrenheit or 105 centigrade. So they're pretty close together as far as temperature ranges. Another thing that rubber is not as good for is it's not a good against acid or corrosives. The vinyl is definitely better when it comes with that, for corrosives inhibiting. But I'm sure everyone that's watching this has used vinyl tape and knows how to put it on. The vinyl doesn't really stretch. It's not meant to stretch, but I got just two pieces of wire here. I'm going to show you kind of how this. In fact, when I'm thinking about it, you look right here. I got two different rolls here. One's 3M and one's Scotch, although they're both made by 3M. This one right here doesn't have a little protective thing. This one does. So if you got to make sure that, depending on what you're using, that you take that little protection thing off. It's just some plastic. I guess that's what it is. It feels like it. But let's just say you needed to cover this thing up. Actually you don't need that much. You take I don't know, that's 2-3 inches right there. Just break it off, and you would start it, but you want to stretch it quite a bit, actually, because it thins it out. And it also makes it a little easier to apply. And like I said, and this is how it actually starts adhering to itself. And you kind of knead it in there like it's bread. And you just keep stretching it out And that's the other good thing about the rubber is, like, you know, it is actual rubber, and you're doing this, so it gives it a really good seal against, you know, moisture and air or whatever. And you just keep basically stretching it and kneading it into it. And, you know, this is great on just about anything. In fact, I've had a couple lightning cables where the termination started coming up, or the wire started coming off the termination. And instead of using shrink tubing or anything, because I just use some of this and it works great. So once you get it on there, you just kind of knead it into itself, and that's it. It's on there. It's on there really, really good. No glue at all. You know, it's a really strong tape as well. I love this stuff. Ever since I found this stuff, I can't remember the last time I've used vinyl. I don't like it. It's just, like I said, mainly because it doesn't work that well. I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, this is a lot more, well, not a lot more expensive, but it is more expensive. But, you know, I think, you know, the way it works is so much better. So, I mean, you know, someone that's in the electronics field and stuff, that's doing stuff mainly indoors. I don't know if, you know, if this would be good, say, in the engine compartment of your car. I don't know. I've never used it, but pretty much everywhere else, I would use that. And that's it. It's really easy to use. Like I said, there's no glue, there's no stickiness. Like I said, and it seems to last quite a long time. It, you know, since it's not vinyl and it doesn't have glue to come off, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't come off as readily as old vinyl tape does. And like I said, if you were putting this in a situation where it might, you know, get debris on it and get embedded in it, you can always either, you know, wrap the tape with vinyl tape and just don't put the vinyl on anything but the rubber, or you could use a brush-on type coating, you know, like, say, like a conformable type coating or something like that, to help. And it comes in a fairly good assortment of widths too, 3/4 up to 2 inches. It may even come in wider than that, just like vinyl. And the rubber is designed to stretch 500 to 1,000% compared to vinyl's 2.5% to 250%. But I mean, you know, vinyl does not stretch very well, and you don't typically want it to. You know, it's not really designed that way. Whereas the rubber is designed, like I just showed you, to stretch around it. Because if you try to, it doesn't work as well if you just, you know, if you take a piece off and you just kind of like, I mean, it will work this way, but and if you need it for some serious insulation, I mean, it like I said, it will work, as you can see right there. But when you do it, it doesn't get. See if you can see it. You know, it kind of it's open, whereas that right there, where you stretched it around, there it's like really, it's almost like shrink tubing. It's really, really, really tight. It conforms to every little thing, you know. It just, you know, you pretty much want to stretch it. If you need more insulation, use a bigger piece and stretch it around there. And you can use multiple pieces as well, you know. And also, as you can see, it comes off a little easy like that. This right here, you know, not to say I couldn't get it off, especially right now since I just put it on, but after a few days, you're going to have to cut that off. So, and like I said too, one of the other goals of using it like this, the reason why you want to stretch it is because it helps seal it, you know, against all kinds of stuff, especially moisture. So yeah, I highly recommend this over vinyl. But you know, if you're doing electronics or electrical stuff, you probably should have both. But like I said, I haven't used vinyl in years now. I've had this and got a whole bunch of vinyl that's just been sitting there for years. In fact, I picked up another one that I was going to use in this thing, and it's like, you know, the whole side's coated in glue and stuff, and so that's the reason why I got the white one here, because it's not all sticky. You know, at your local Home Depot, you're going to find probably 3M Scotch, plain 3M, and commercial electric. I've used them all. They all seem to work good. what I'm thinking about, one more thing you can use this for is, sometimes you have, say, a pair of pliers or whatever that doesn't have, it's all steel or whatever, and it doesn't have a coating on it. Or you can use this to coat those things, and now you have some insulated plier handles, or for extra grip, or anything that needs extra grip, because like I said, it's rubber, so it makes a good grip as well. So it could be used for multiple things.